Welcome back, everyone. Joe and Derek are back with a burst of inspiration for great getaways that are not too far away and all have one thing in common: an exciting cruise with Royal Caribbean. Plus, of course, the Cruise1st twist to make it even more memorable.
Oh boy, do we have something different for you this time, like flying off this Boxing Day to enjoy a cruise over New Year in beautiful Bali with stays in Singapore, or maybe jetting off to Las Vegas in November to stay and enjoy the Grand Prix, stay in LA and then cruise off on Navigator of the Seas.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Let's start though with a treat for next April and combine that big ship fun on Allure of the Seas with an all-inclusive stay in one of Catalonia's most beautiful beach sides. Our 10 nights starts on the 10th of April, flying to Barcelona. We'll then transfer you to your all-inclusive beach hotel stay in Calella, where you can relax and soak up the sun. Lovely. Well, what an unusual place to visit. We don't see this on a lot of itineraries. We're looking just outside of Barcelona here, and it's one of the east coast of Spain's premier beach and relaxation resorts, especially for locals too. So you'll find here it's a little bit more authentic. It's definitely got that low-key vibe to it, but sensational beaches, of course, as you'd expect. And being there in spring, it's still lovely and sunny and fresh, but it also is just sort of the right temperature for enjoying wandering around, taking in the sightseeing, enjoying their tapas.
It's like real Spain as well, actually.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like a touristy destination resort per se, so it's not commercial in that sense. It's kind of more real Spain. But listen, you're going to be by a beach in the sun for 5 nights, all inclusive in a hotel. Thank you very much.
Yes, exactly. And then guess what? It doesn't end there, because it's time to cruise. You'll be transferred to the port for Barcelona, where you'll embark the Allure of the Seas, and you're going to have your 5-night full board cruise. Fantastic. Now this is not just a ship. This is an absolute entertainment epicenter. And it's one of the biggest in the world as well, the Allure. There is just so much to do, it is crazy. I mean, you're going to be enjoying a lot of the hotspots around the ship when it comes to food, of course, like Rita's Cantina, Chopped Grill, the Windjammer Buffet. I mean, there's just so much up there. And they really make it an event when you go to these restaurants. As you can see, everyone's dressed up sort of in the authentic gear, depending on which restaurant you're enjoying.
Well, this is like a resort, really, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, the whole of this ship. I mean, to be honest with you, the fact that we're going places is kind of like a bonus. You wouldn't really need to be. You could enjoy all of the nights on this cruise going absolutely nowhere and think, you know what, that's one of the best holidays I've had in years.
Absolutely.
Because I've not had to, I've not had to kind of find things for myself. I haven't had to do any homework along the way. I haven't got to work out what the train system is, or where do I get a cab from, or
right.
None of that stuff. It's just so uncomplicated, isn't it? It allows you to just switch off, wander around, do things as you fancy. You're off the clock, you're off the grid. It's amazing.
I love it. Do you know, one of my favourite things to do when I'm on board Oasis class, I've been fortunate to be on a few of these, is just to stroll through Central Park. And it's like being in Central Park, but not, because you know that you are kind of like Central Park in the middle of Vegas. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got the Ultimate Abyss, which is the water slide with a 10-story drop. The Perfect Storm as well, which is a trio of thrilling water slides. Dragon on Ice. I mean, these are really fun. The shows on board Royal Caribbean are award-winning, world-class shows. Of course, they've got the ice shows, but they also have the great main cast featured shows in the main theatre as well. And then, of course, there's going to be something different every night for you. Blue Planet, there we go.
Talking of which as well, if you're a fan of karaoke, you get to have the best of both worlds, because you can do it on the stage in front of other people in Spotlight karaoke, or you and your family, your group, can book a private little karaoke room.
Ooh.
And just keep it between you.
I like the sound of that. That is one of my favourite things to do. I wonder if they have the props,
brilliant.
The hats and the feather boas.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you could be able to buy that along the way.
Mr. P, We were going to do that once. I think we need to get that back on the cards for our group outing next time. Right, we have got so much to enjoy on the Allure. And then, of course, it's time for your amazing cruise. This is going to be epic. Let's see where we're off to. Now, we're cruising out of Barcelona, and the first port we're heading into is Marseille, of course, in France, the largest port on the Mediterranean, and the second largest city as well. And it's a real melting pot of cultures. You might want to stroll around the old street, take in the beautiful cafes and the lovely boutiques. Then it's La Spezia, Italy, and this will allow you sort of easy reach to visit Cinque Terre, or, you know, even over to Pisa, perhaps Florence, depending on where you want to go to, or just enjoy being in the lovely village where you're docked. Then it's Civitavecchia, and of course this is gateway to Rome. You can head to Rome by train, you can book an excursion with the ship, or even just enjoy Civitavecchia itself. They have great restaurants, they have fabulous cafes, cute little boutiques, and lots of friendly locals. It's a day at sea sees us back into Barcelona, where you'll disembark and fly home after this perfect little trip.
Do you know who this holiday would be great for, this itinerary? Those people who've been looking at the sort of genesis of the big Royal Caribbean ships over the last few years and thinking to themselves, I'm not quite sure if that's for me, because actually you've got an excellent kind of 50-50 here. You fly out to Spain and you've got your 5 nights all-inclusive in a hotel down in Calais, which will be wonderful. And from Calais, there's lots of other places you can explore. But essentially, that's a nice sort of beach hotel getaway, all inclusive in the hotel as well, which is lovely. And then the other half of that is your cruise on Allure, which is amazing. And Allure is one of the bigger Royal Caribbean ships. She is amazing, but it's a good way of kind of seeing whether that is the ship for you. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of people have kind of sat on the fence, and I've heard a lot of people say over the years, oh, I'm not sure whether I would like those big ships. And I never quite understand why. Because the longest walks that you really have are to and from your stateroom, and you do that very, very infrequently. You hardly do that. You do that like once a day, do you know what I mean, to change from day to night. So give it a try, and this is a great way of doing it as well, actually. It's a nice little 10-night holiday anyway for April next year. I was just trying to think what the weather was like in April here. It was still a bit rubbish, wasn't it, back in April? It wasn't great. It was windy, it was cold, it was wet all the time and whatever. So actually getting off to Spain is quite nice to do at that time of year anyway. So in the price I'm about to give you, it's the flight from the UK to Barcelona. You'll transfer to your all-inclusive beach hotel in Calais for 5 nights. Then the transfer back to the port in Barcelona, and your 5-night cruise on Allure of the Seas, cruising France and Italy. Your deposit today on this one is just £199 each, by the way, and your price for the whole holiday, which includes, remember, your 5 nights with Royal Caribbean on Allure, at £1,499 per person, which is wonderful. It's funny, isn't it? Because you would have looked back in the day, you would have looked at an all-inclusive stay in a hotel and you'd have seen that as a budget option. One of those things that kind of would be looked down on slightly, whereas now you think, no, we can spend 50 quid having a couple of sandwiches and a couple of coffees in a restaurant these days for lunch. So all-inclusive, thank you very much, any day of the week. Let's have a look at the details for upgrades, by the way, on the cruise. So on Allure for your 5-night cruise, $99 up to Ocean View, $299 up to the balcony there if you fancy it as well. And it's wonderful. Your balconies, by the way, can actually be outward facing balconies or face into one of the neighbourhoods inside the ship as well, which is rather nice. You might have a nice view into the serenity of Central Park. So talk to our team about that on 0800 953 4700 if you want to know more about that. It's nice, actually, just having a few nights in an all. I could do that right now, actually. I'm sure you could as well. Yeah, I know you've just had a few days away, and like, it just does you good, doesn't it? Oh
my goodness, it's just the sun on your face, the breeze in your hair. I mean, it's especially Spain. We know when we're off to Spain, we're going to have pretty good luck with the weather most of the time. Yeah, and of course in the hotel, you know, your drinks are included, your dining is included as well, so you haven't got to think day by day, okay,
how many times am I dipping in,
Yep.
you know, to my pocket? And, you know, like I said, the other day, literally just going to lunch, a couple of sandwiches, a couple of coffees, maybe a dessert, and you're looking at a bill of 40 or 50 quid. And
Yeah.
you're thinking, wow, that's just lunch.
Yeah.
And we've got dinner to come yet. You know, and you know what that can add up to. It's crazy. So actually, I just think that's just the perfect kind of, you know, we all need that. We could do with a bit of that right now.
And half cruise, half hotel stay is perfect.
Yeah.
That's always the way I like to do it. We've got another one for you. Are you ready? Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Time to rev up your engines.
Rev up your engines. Guys and gals, we are about to jet around on this holiday like a star for 13 nights. We're doing LA, a cruise, and we're starting it all off on the 20th November this year by flying over to Las Vegas for a 6-night stay.
Yes,
I know.
yes.
You've been waiting for this one, haven't you?
Yes.
Including tickets for all 3 days of the Vegas Grand Prix.
Yeah, we're about to see a bit of that action now. So, yeah, 6 nights in Vegas, you're just going to love it. 3 days of that are this. The wonderful, and actually, when we were in Vegas, myself and Mr. P last year, they were just kind of getting everything together and sort of reconfiguring and working out. And I think they were even building new roads and stuff, weren't they, for setting up for the Grand Prix. So I think this will be, I don't know if last year's was the first time it ever happened, but it's happening again. And you will be there. The most exciting, you're going to see all the big stars there as well. I mean, as well as those that will be performing on the stage, but they'll be part of the Grand Prix as well, which is incredible. So Vegas itself is just crazy. Can't wait to September, going back.
6 nights here as well.
Yeah, 6 nights, of course. So even if, to be honest with you, even if the Grand Prix, you're just thinking, right, okay, we'll just go for race day, fine. You've got tickets for all 3 days,
Yes.
for practice, qualifying and race day. But if you're thinking, right, I'm just going to go on race day, then you can spend the rest of the time just having the best fun ever. Honestly, I have talked so many people. Funny, isn't it? You can watch videos of Vegas for years and years and years, and you can really know nothing.
Yes.
But standing there on the strip in Vegas just feels like no other feeling in the world, does it?
You're in all around every corner.
It's crazy.
So entertaining.
Love it.
Whether it's a street performer or a ride or zip lining down Fremont Street, which I know you've done a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Or just like drinking in these incredible, you know, architectural feats that are all casinos. You'll
Amazing.
love it. Yes, and then we're heading for a real kind of contrast here, over to chilled out LA. And we got 3 nights in a hotel in LA. I love the amount of time on your stays here. 6 days in Vegas, 3 nights in Los Angeles. It's perfect because 1 night's not really enough in LA. There is tons to do, by the way. You can be as busy or as relaxed as you want when you're in Los Angeles. You can head to the Hollywood Bowl, Santa Monica Boulevard, Venice Beach, watch the street performers, see the great shopping down there as well. And actually Hollywood and Highlands Mall is great for shopping. Then Sunset Boulevard, you've got to do it. It's world famous. Great dining options there. It's time for us to cruise then on the Navigator of the Seas for your fantastic voyage. And you're going to be on board for just a little taster cruise for 3 nights, which is lovely. So just enjoying that cruise at the end. There's lots to do on board, from ice skating to mini golf. Great dining options, of course, await you when you're on Navigator. And the rock climbing wall is a signature of Royal Caribbean. That's always there. You must do it. I know you're only on for a short time, but try and jam pack those activities into your adventure as well. Johnny Rockets, delicious fast food. They have also got entertainment going on in Johnny Rockets. They do like a kind of like 1950s style dance thing. I'll leave it up to your surprise for you. Now the atrium on Navigator, this was one of the first Royal Caribbean ships where they created this idea of it being kind of like a floating city. So you have this amazing atrium and walkway where they do these lovely live parades. You know, it might be 70s night, depending on, you know, what they decide to do on the 3-day cruise. You could have a silent disco, or maybe it's just going to be a Caribbean night, something like that, Mexican fiesta, but it's going to be loads of fun, that's for sure. Brilliant. And when it comes to your specialty dining, you should definitely treat yourself, maybe to some izumi or Chops Grill, some delicious cupcakes. The choice is yours.
You're going to have to cram it all in though.
You
3
do.
nights on board. And we're cruising out of LA and we're heading to Ensenada.
Yes.
Where, of course, we can head to La Bufadora. What happens there, Joe?
Well, it's a blowhole basically, and it's definitely worth doing an excursion here too.
Lovely, yeah, definitely. And you can see all of the geysers spraying as they do. And then we call back into LA. Unfortunately, that's where we then have to fly back to the UK. And you have crammed a lot in to just under 2 weeks, but we've got an offer and a half to present to you for this one. You're going to absolutely love it, let me tell you. How we've got the Grand Prix into this as well, I just have no idea. That's our amazing team here at Cruise1st. So this is for November this year. The flight from the UK out to Las Vegas. You've got your 6-night hotel stay there, including the Vegas Grand Prix tickets for all 3 days. And then you fly from Vegas to LA. You've got 3 nights in a hotel there before your 3-night cruise on Navigator of the Seas to Ensenada in Mexico. And of course, your flight back to the UK. Price tag for all of that, flights, stays, cruise, all sorted, at $2,499 per person. But hang on just a moment. Just a moment. Because for just another £99, if you pay an Ocean View upgrade price, we'll upgrade you again to balcony for your 3-night cruise on Navigator of the Seas, which sounds pretty good. Let's go and have a look at those upgrade prices, because you'll find that Ocean View and balcony exactly the same price, because you pay an Ocean View upgrade right now with us, cheers to that, and we'll upgrade you again to a balcony. Maybe you fancy checking out the suite. Well, you can, it's there for you at an extra $299. It's an incredible way, an incredible mix of a holiday as well. I mean, you will love Vegas if you've never been there. I'm so sorry. I know I go on about it and on and on and on, but I'm determined to get everyone out to Vegas at one time or another. Because you know what? It took me nearly 50 years to get out there, and I should have been doing that like 30 years ago. I should have been going to Vegas.
You are making up for lost time, Derek, so
for
it's
sure.
fine.
For sure. Absolutely. I mean, this winter, first time to the Caribbean.
I know.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Lots of travel cherries being popped this year.
It's got to be done. And I think, you know what? And now I can say it with some authority. Okay, I've spent the last 10 years talking about it and not necessarily, sort of putting my money where my mouth is. But now I've done it, I really do get it. I get the whole why we should cruise, because you go to so many different places as all part of one holiday. It's less expensive overall, which is fantastic. There's so much more included. You can all go off in your own different directions and do your own things on a cruise, but also the places that you should see as well. I mean, I've seen like a tiny look through the letterbox of the world so far, and I'm loving what I see, so I want to see even more. And you should do the same as well, because I keep hearing people say all the time around me, while we can, we should. Absolutely.
You've got to take full advantage. And we have got another fabulous offer coming up for you. Final tempter for this show. We'll say goodbye to 2024 in style and see you in the new year in the paradise island of Bali. Oh my goodness, I couldn't think of anything better to spend a new year in, to be honest. 13 nights all start on Boxing Day, where we'll fly out from the UK to Singapore for the first of 2 hotel stays. This first one is for 1 night.
Lovely. I mean, Singapore's fantastic anyway, isn't there? There's so much to do. Of course, as well as all the big kind of cityscapes and attractions, you've got things like the zoo, the orchid gardens, so many different things that you can enjoy. But listen, we are coming back for another stay in Singapore. Yes. So maybe that one night you just find somewhere nice for dinner and just have a wander around the city before you cruise.
Absolutely. And we are heading on to the Ovation of the Seas for our incredible adventure. This is absolutely next level cruising, as it's one of the most exciting and dynamic ships in Royal Caribbean's fleet. Now, with it being quantum class, you have got all of the bells and whistles you would imagine from, the top level in innovation from Royal Caribbean. From Seaplex through to the North Star, the Flow Rider, of course, for actually surfing at sea, and iFly, where you can skydive on a ship on the ocean.
Which is pretty crazy. I mean, having done it, I was kind of like, we were filming on Anthem of the Seas, same class, and I looked at it And I thought I could never do that. I could never be brave enough to do that. And
But
then,
you did it.
And then it was suggested to me that it might make good footage for the TV. And I said, right, okay, I'll do it then. I'll take one for the team. Oh my word, what an experience. And I actually had done a parachute jump before then. But that was a fixed line, so it wasn't, free falling or whatever. But that gave me a little taste. And your mind goes all over the place. But it's a crazy thing to do, but it's a lovely thing that, again, this is about experience. This is what I was talking about just a moment ago. Coming back from a holiday like this, saying, well, I didn't expect to do this, but I did this while I was away. I didn't expect to go here, but I went here when I was on holiday. They're the things that make amazing memories, and then you can always look back and say, actually, I have done it. I have been there.
At least you did it. Even if you don't do it again, you've done it, right? And you've done it in a safe and kind of nurturing environment. When you're on ship, a lot of other people are taking the plunge and doing things for the first time too. So make this your cruise for exploration and new experiences. I think you're going to love it, and you'll be back for more. Now we are cruising out of Singapore. We've got 8 fabulous nights. The first one we're heading into is Selakan Bawang, which is northern Bali. And you'll be there on New Year's Eve as well. It is an incredible place to visit. Northern Bali's temples. You've also got the hot springs. And you can head down to Monkey Forest in Ubud too. Then we're in Benoa, which is southern Bali, and that's going to be New Year's Day. Now, with it being a tourist destination, you'll find lots of things are still operating, including your favourite excursions. So make sure you book something on board with the team. Maybe see how some of the silver's made. Lombok's up next, and this is a lovely, relaxed paradise aside Bali. There's no motor vehicles, so it's relatively unspoilt, and you've got lots of natural beauty, lovely waterfalls, beautiful hikes, and maybe take a bike and explore the island. Then we're back into Singapore, and this time we have a 2-night hotel stay in the Garden City. Isn't she beautiful? Just look at the footage here. There's so much to explore in Singapore. Whether you love a touch of luxury shopping, you can do that along Orchard Road or one of the many great malls. Maybe head to a traditional market and do some bartering. It's a fun thing to do. Or indeed see some of the natural wonders of Singapore, such as Gardens by the Bay. You've got the famous Orchid Garden, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the botanical gardens there as well. But don't forget the Singapore Zoo. I have to say that is one of the best zoos in the world. That's top up on my list. It's the lovely thing about Singapore is it's really East meets West. You feel it's quite familiar, yet at the same time it's exotic too, because you are on a tropical island. Yeah, this is your overview.
Do you know what? I take my hat off to anyone that can barter when they're shopping anywhere. Well, we don't do it in the UK anyway, do we really? At all, ever. I know you can, but I don't think we rarely do. But I don't think I have ever bartered. I think I'll just sort of point at things and just pay the price that's there.
It makes us feel a bit awkward, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah. It just doesn't feel right, does it really? But you need to take Jo on your holidays with you as well. Get her to barter. She barters a good deal for you, let me tell you. Anyway, what an incredible adventure. What a lovely adventure as well. And you know what? We say it all the time. We sit here in this studio and talk about Singapore, all day long. We talk about it, hundreds of times a month. For instance, we'll talk about it, not just for shows here in the UK, but we also make shows for our sister brand in Australia. So we talk about Singapore a lot there. That's another place. We have to get there. We have to go and see it. We have to stop talking about it. We have to go there and see it. And this is your chance to do it as well. Flying away on Boxing Day. What better time? Christmas Day, do the turkey and all of that. Boxing Day, sayonara, I'm off. Off to Singapore for a 1-night stay, and then you've got your 8-night cruise on Ovation of the Seas, cruising into the new year through Bali and Indonesia, back to Singapore for another 2-night hotel stay there, and then your flight back to the UK. It's always very special being away over the festive period, over Christmas and New Year. It's amazing. Deposit today on this one is just £199 each. Your price for the entire package is here at $2,799 per person. Do you know what? Almost, I don't know, sometimes a holiday comes along and you just think, right, rather than us deciding who's going to who and who's doing all of the catering, all of the logistics of Christmas, and she's not talking to her anymore, so we have to skirt around that, and all the other things of life, and you think, actually I could just fly off and say, actually, we're not going to be here, we're on holiday. That's an easy get out, isn't it? 199 is your deposit on this one. And again, on this one, if you go for the Ocean View upgrade, we'll upgrade you again up to the balcony. So let's go and check out that. That's for the 8-night cruise, of course. That's part of this package, and that's over New Year as well. So an extra $399 will get you an Ocean View price, but we'll upgrade you again up to the balcony, which is, well, you know what? You're never gonna say no to that. You think about it. That's a pretty good deal. That's like booking the window seat on a plane and then being told to turn left, isn't it? That's pretty good, isn't it? I like the idea of that. Anyway, listen, if you do, 0800 953 4700. Just as a side note, by the way, if you do want to be away over Christmas and New Year, there are umpteen cruise packages to get you away over Christmas and New Year. So talk to the team about those. Back to Royal Caribbean right now. Let's take a look at some quick picks for you, and some real goodies here as well, actually. RC579 is a week of cruising on Explorer of the Seas for the 14th of June next year. To and from Ravenna, so just down the coast from Venice, to the Greek Isles and Croatia, with flights and transfers included, from $949 per person. So that's RC579. Just call the team and quote that reference to them. It just allows them to pick the package up straight away and help you with it. Then the one in the middle is RC580. That's 7 nights around the Western Med on Allure of the Seas. For the 20th of April next year, with flights to and from Barcelona, again from $949 per person there. That's a good little deal, actually, with Royal Caribbean. I would take that up as quickly as you possibly can. Of course, to that offer, if you wanted to add extra nights in Barcelona in a hotel, just talk to the team. In fact, you could tailor any of these offers, but these are just the prices that we've got here. So RC526, the one at the bottom here, is for the 24th of October this year. Oh good, something for this winter. It's 12 nights in all. You fly out to Athens for a 3-night hotel stay, and then you've got 6 nights on Explorer of the Seas, and you'll be cruising off to Mykonos, Sicily, Palma de Mallorca, back into Barcelona for a 3-night hotel stay there, and then the flight back. That's $999 per person, and that's with a free upgrade to Ocean View. So it's not an Ocean View price, it's an inside price, but we're upgrading you to Ocean View. And I love that one in particular because it's quite nice to have 3 nights in Athens before you cruise, and then 3 nights in Barcelona at the end of the cruise. If you want to know more about any of those, just quote those reference to our team on 0800 953 4700. Quick mention for Tuesday nights. Oh, it's going well. It's going well. We have given away cruises, which is amazing. Cruise Deals Live on a Tuesday night at 8 o'clock is our best opportunity.
Have you given away the chocolate cruise ship yet? That's what I want to know.
No, it's still in the fridge.
Ooh.
So keep your eyes off, because I could be giving it away this week.
Yeah, I'll keep ringing.
They are good, actually. I've eaten a whole one to myself, and they were very, very good indeed. So make sure that you come and join us Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. In all honesty, it allows us, because we're live, to give you literally to the second pricing, some exclusive deals just for the show, and of course we've got a wheel. We're pointing at a wheel over there which we spin. It's got lots of prizes on it, including a free cruise, and we've done it.
Yeah.
We've done it.
It's incredible. You've got to tune in, you know, loads of offerings, and do check out the website because it is buzzing at the moment. You know, there's so many incredible offers that you'll just want to get in the bag for now, for next year, and maybe even for the year afterwards. Get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, stay right where you are. We've always got more ideas and inspiration just a couple of minutes away.
Ciao.